Not sitting very level, are we? Is that more level? No. Welcome back to 5 Acre Farms. I'm Luke. We're going to make a new project that I've been putting off for a long time. So, meat bird season is right around the corner. And I mean right around the corner as in like they're getting shipped today. They should be here by Wednesday. And I'm behind the ball. We raise about 400 meat chickens a year, 200 in the spring and 200 in the fall. And we'll document the whole process, raising meat chickens 101 or something. I'll label the video something. But this project, we're going to design and build a new brooder. In the years past, I've been using these stock tanks, and they've worked great. Don't get me wrong. They were free. They were here on the farm when we got here. They leak, so they are pretty much worthless to anybody that uses them for cattle, but they make great brooders for chicks. And so these stock tanks, let me grab you here. These stock tanks are probably 8 foot by 8 foot. You can see they got holes over there and rusty and not worth much to anybody but a chicken farmer like me. But we had 2 of those. We used one as a planter up by the house to put flowers in because we knew we were going to do something different this year, but I still have that one just in case. But moving those things kind of sucks, and they take up a lot of space in the garage. And so I've read and reread and read and reread Joel Salatin's chick brooder that he uses for meat chickens, and I've tossed around the idea of building one just like his, but it just, the cost was going to be more than what I wanted to. And it's not that it was going to be too expensive. It would have paid for itself, but I think I have a better idea that's going to be way cheaper. And currently, I think I'm only going to have about $100 into the whole thing, and it's going to be able to brood 200 chickens. So not very many brooders for 200 chickens at a time for 3 weeks is going to cost you less than $100. So let's go to the garage and get started working on this project. This trailer is going to be the ticket to my next meat chicken brooder. So with that being said, the game plan is, and I'm winging this, so don't expect a bunch of cut list and this is the way to do it. This is just what I'm trying. I'm trying to get away from the old stock tanks in the garage to something mobile. And I'll explain why when I get done with this project, why I chose to do it exactly like this. But the game plan is I rip 2x4s down to 2x2s. So 2x2s are strong enough for this project. And then I went and got fence pickets. These were about $3.50 a piece. I think I got 25 of them. I'm really hoping 25 is enough. But they're 6 foot a piece, so I'm going to cut them down to 2 foot pieces. So I'll get 3 pieces off of each board. Now the reason I did that is this trailer is a 10 foot by 6 foot trailer. And nothing drives me more nuts than having a seam. Like, when I say that, like if I was just to use OSB, it would only come in 8 foot, and then I'd have to splice in a 2 foot piece on the sidewall. And I don't like splicing in a piece. I think it looks tacky. And so that's one of my pet peeves, is if I can make something symmetrical to not where I don't have to splice pieces together. So what I'm going to do is build 4 walls, 2 10-foot walls and 2 6-foot walls. They're going to be a little less because of the 10-foot walls, but essentially 2 10-foot walls and 2 6-foot walls that are going to be 2 foot high, used with these boards. So they're going to run like fence pickets, and that way, even when it sets 2 foot up, I can still reach into there, grab birds, fill waters, fill feeders, adjust heat lamps, do whatever I need to. And then, like I said, I'll explain why I'm building this setup when we're done. But let's get to cutting all these fence pickets into 2 foot pieces. And I think I'm going to try to air nail them together, air staple them together with 1-inch staples, so I don't have to pre-drill a ton of screw holes and do that. So like I said, this is an idea up in my head. It's not a cut sheet planned, anything. That's how 99% of my projects go around here, is I wing it. So enjoy watching time lapses because it's gonna be fun. All the boards are cut 2 foot length. I believe they are 6 inches. Let me stand corrected. Yeah, they're 6 inches wide, or 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 wide by 2 foot in length. So we're essentially just going to staple them onto 2x2s and make 2 10-foot panels first, and then we'll go from there. These are standard 2x4s, ripped down, ripped in half. So I think I'm just going to start down here and get them to where they're spaced out evenly on both ends. Then I'm going to use a 1-inch crown staple to hopefully staple these on. That way I don't have to use screws. This doesn't have to be a perfect, as much of a perfectionist as I am sometimes. This doesn't have to be something I'm selling and putting my name on as a carpenter by any means, but this will be a very useful thing here on the farm, because I think we're going to be raising decent batches of meat chickens in the future. So, all right, I think I got everything pretty well set up. Got a few in there. I think that's going to work just fine. So, pretty much rinse and repeat. I think there's a little bit of a bow in this 2x2. Use the old hip squeeze method. All right, let me set you up on a time lapse. This is going to get boring. Watch me do it this way. The 2 10-foot sidewalls are done, and I guess they went about as good as you could think. When you buy cheap lumber, you get cheap results. So, but I am going to have to cut off about 1.5 inches off both sides, which it would have wishful thinking to think it was going to line up completely at 5.5 by 10 foot. A lot of these boards are semi-warped on the inside. You can see this 2x2 is warped really good, so I should have spaced it out before I started getting going, spaced it out properly and kept it up here, but it's really not going to be that big of a deal. So, all right, on to the 6-foot sidewalls. So we're at 71 inches wide on both ends. We're pretty close to 71. And these are 2 inches thick. So essentially, if I'm going to put the 2 end pieces on the inside of these, then I'm going to need to take off 4 inches off of 71. So we'll get these 8-footers cut down to whatever that is. We got these 8-foot 2x2s cut down to 67 inches. So, excuse me. We're going to go ahead and start whacking on them. But I'm going to start using some of these with the dog ears on them. I'm going to face all those to the same end, and then I'll probably put those at the bottom. That way they aren't all on top. That way the top edge is flat all the way around. And make it look good. So, all right, let's get the stapling. Well, there you have it. We got 2 10-foot long sides and 2 roughly 6-foot long sides. Now, if you're going to build something similar to this and you're going to do it on a trailer, obviously you're going to kind of custom fit it to whatever size the trailer is. I picked up this trailer off Facebook Marketplace. That's kind of one of my my weaknesses is cheap trailers. I got trailers scattered all over the place. When you find a good deal, you just can't not buy it because you just never know what you're going to use it for. And I didn't know what I was going to use this for, but for $200, I can sit on it and figure it out. But this is what I'm going to use it for now, and it's been a great little purchase, and it'll serve its purpose. And when I'm done with this, I can remove it and still use the trailer. So with that being said, though, we got the 2 10-foot pieces. Let's get them set up and see where the 6-foot pieces, make sure it all fits, and then we're going to put some buckles on to latch it all together. I did end up with about 5, 6, 7 extra pieces, so could have got away with a couple less, but better to have more than not enough. Set those over there, get everything out of the way. I went ahead and trimmed off all the leftovers, so it's going to be a little shorter than what we originally planned by an inch or 2, just so we use full boards on everything. So everything should fit just about perfect because we took off a couple inches. So I'm going to do the dog ears on the bottom. It's going to be full of wood chips anyway. Remember, these are 4 inches short just to offset the 10-footers, or the 2 inches on each end. The fact that this board is crooked is going to drive me nuts. But like I said, I'm not here to be a carpenter and run in competitions. I'm here to be practical. Set that down to there. All right, make sure. I'll put my smooth side up, or my flushest side up, which would be this side. The good thing about this, since I built it out of 2x2s and fence pickets, is it's really light. So got that going for me. Kind of a mock up there. one thing I forgot to do is overlap a panel here so it fits together. We'll have to go back and put that piece in. I'll show you here in a second what I mean. So, yeah, that crooked board's gonna drive me nuts. Man, it's like I know what I'm doing. Kind of. Sticks over a little bit, but not bad. We got it pretty well set up the way we're gonna have it. I went ahead and added, so when I cut these 2x2s on top and bottom on the ends from 8 foot down to 67 inches, it left me with some essentially 2 foot pieces. I went ahead and filled the gap here on those on all 4 corners, so there's no gap for any chicks to get out. I'm going to probably lay some cardboard paper down on the floor for this batch, see how everything goes. If it looks like that's going to work, or this whole setup's going to work, then I might replace the flooring on this trailer. But the fine wood chips that I use will fall through some of those cracks. So we're going to go with the cardboard paper for now. But for the most part, I'm pleasantly happy with how I think it's going to work. I'm going to, instead of screwing this thing together and then unscrewing it every time I need to take it apart, I got some of these buckles on Amazon. They're kind of an adjustable buckle. The game plan with these buckles is to essentially put it down, one on every corner, so it just latches it, and I can tighten them and adjust them. And so whenever we're done, we just unbuckle these and take it apart. So let's install those real quick. So these are the latches I'm using. You can find them, I think, on Amazon is where I got them. I couldn't find them in the stores anywhere, but they're adjustable latches, so they should work pretty well for what I need them for. If I had a bunch of them, if I had enough of them, I would have put 2 on each corner. I only got 4 of them left. I bought them for another project, but I think these will work just fine if I kind of put them right about there. So, all right, let's, like I said, nothing's measured and nothing's perfect here. Just got to be functional. I think that'll work. Whoop. This is why we can't have nice things. I think that's level. All right, now put on the other piece. This is when I wish the good Lord made us with 3 hands. Yep, that's about how I imagined that was going to go. I can tighten these down a little bit more. Get it lined up where I want it. Boom. And really makes for a pretty solid. That way I was going to put two screws in each one, but then when I go to take it apart, I'll have to take screws out, which is not that big of an issue, but I already had these. Just pop that off, do it on all the other corners, it comes right apart. So, boom. Let's do 3 more. Well, the age-old question is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And there's a lot to that, but this is going to save us a lot of time and hassle, and if it works as I think it will, we'll be able to use it for many, many years. So we don't have a huge garage to begin with, so when you stick 2 8-foot stock tanks in there, it pretty much takes up the whole garage. And according to my math, if I do my math right, a 6x10 should hold roughly 200 birds for 2.5 to 3 weeks, giving them the adequate square footage per bird. So with that being said, I think it turned out pretty sweet. I didn't have the seam. Obviously that one crooked board over there it's gonna drive me nuts, but it is what it is. So I got the latches in. They work awesome. This whole thing is pretty rock solid with just those 1 latches. And so all in all, $100 into wood. I already had the 8-foot 2x4s. I bought 2 10-foot 2x4s and ripped them down. I already had the latches, which really aren't that much, but I think total wood cost I have $110, something like that. So with that being said, the trailer, $200. This isn't something that everybody needs, because not everybody's raising 200 meat birds, but in a batch. So if you're raising a lot smaller, obviously you don't need something this big. But for me to have 1 brooder, and I can hang up my heat lamps in there, and we'll get it rigged up here after a while, but I'll hang all my feeders, hang all my waters, hang all my heat lamps, and this will work out pretty sweet. I was going to build a roof over top of it and leave it outside, kind of like the Salatin style where you can leave it outside, but I don't know. The temperatures right now are like 35 in the morning and 80 in the afternoon. So with that kind of temperature fluctuation, it's going to make me nervous. The garage stays pretty constant temperature. So, and I don't have to worry about doing a roof, a pitched roof, a hinges, getting in and out of it. This thing, I can walk all the way around it, reach in there if I need to, and go from there. So we'll I think this will work sweet. And so the biggest reason I built this will now make everything essentially a 1-person job if I need it to. So whenever we had the stock tanks, we'd put 100 in each stock tank, and then we'd have to catch them, put them in crates, and then drive them out into the pasture, put them in the chicken tractors. With this, it's already on a trailer. I can just hook up to it with the mule, drive this whole thing out to the pasture, pull them right out of here into the chicken tractor. And then when I'm done, instead of climbing in the stock tanks with shovels and brooms and cleaning it all out, I take apart the back here and I sweep the whole thing out into my compost pile. And that's pretty damn convenient. I don't have to move stock tanks in and out of my garage. I don't have to haul buckets of manure and wood shavings. And so this I think will be the kind of a game changer for me, but I think this will make our life easier if it works. You guys will learn along the way, because we get meat chicks here in the next couple days, and we're gonna do a series over raising meat chickens. We've done, I don't know, 10 batches of meat chickens, so this will be our first time doing it all in 1 brooder and this kind of a setup. So all right, I'm gonna go knock out chores. Everybody's getting hangry. And if I have time this evening, I'll get this thing set up. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get the garage cleaned out, get this in there, get all the wood chips in there, get all the heat lamps in there, waters, because birds should be here Wednesday. I know there's a big shortage on chickens, meat chickens included, so hopefully they ship today like they're supposed to. I haven't checked my email yet, but they should ship today, which means we should get them on Wednesday. But I've done that before and then they're a week late. So, well, here you have it, guys. We got it all set up in the garage. Takes up a little more space than I was anticipating, but it's still better than 2 8-foot stock tanks. So I wheeled it in without a vehicle or the mule. I can do it by hand. It's still a pretty light rig, and when I'm done, I can wheel it out and take it and unload it. But as you can see, I do everything suspended. That way it's not in my way when I'm adding wood chips. And so I have, right now I have 2 heat lamps. If I feel like they're getting cold, I'll add a third. I suspend all my feeders, as you see back here. That way, as they get bigger, I can bring the feeder up. And then these feeders are going to be just like what I have out in my chicken tractor, so they'll get used to them from day one. And then we'll start off with 1-gallon waters. I'll put some boards underneath them so they don't kick wood chips into them. But once they outgrow those, which will be about the first week, I'll switch over to a Bell water or a Plaisson water. And I'll suspend it too, because that's what they will have in their chicken tractor. So, other than that, we're ready for chicks. Hopefully they'll be here in the next couple days like they're supposed to be. I know it's going to be tough to imagine they will be, even though I set my ship date for today or yesterday. And we'll go from there. Once we get them, we'll start making a series of how to raise meat chickens. One thing I want to talk about real quick while I got you guys is I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Caitlin and I have worked real hard on this farm to make it what it is, and a lot of people over the years have pitched the idea of starting a YouTube channel. We need to start a YouTube channel, so on and so forth. And I just told people I didn't have time. And who knows, I may not have time, but as of right now, I'm making time. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the feedback from you guys. Yesterday, I got an email from YouTube that said we'll be starting to work on getting monetized, which is awesome. That means we've hit the threshold to get monetization. And hopefully we can start getting paid to do this and then putting more of those funds back into the farm for more projects so we can continue to grow. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for watching these videos. I don't like to be the guy that says like and subscribe every video, but I get a lot more people watching my videos than people that are subscribed to my videos or my channel. So if you would subscribe, that makes a big difference. If you raise chickens, cows, pigs, anything along those lines, I think will be a channel that's right up your alley. So huge thank you to everybody that's supported us along the way. Not just our chicken customers, but everybody that watches our videos, and those of you that over on our Facebook page, 5 Acre Farms on Facebook page. We do have TikTok. We're trying to get back into the rhythm of posting on TikTok. But yeah, other than that, huge thank you. A big thank you to a friend of mine, Daniel Arms, over at Arms Family Homestead. Those of you that are watching this video probably know about their channel. Those guys are awesome. Become friends with them over the last year or so, and they're always giving encouraging words of wisdom. They just hit 1 million subscribers, so congratulations to them. If you aren't subscribed to their channel, go subscribe to their channel. But yeah, big thanks to everybody that's following along on our journey, and we have a ton of stuff, ton of videos we have planned that are going to be all about small-scale farming or how to make money with chickens or pigs or anything along those lines. So we're excited to grow. We're excited in this YouTube journey, and we're excited to take you along with it. So other than that, we love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. And don't haggle with your egg supplier. We'll see you guys.